Welcome to Approaching Technology. I'm your host, Phillip Hi-Fi Cordell. Today my guest, Randy Pagnan of RPVisuals.
Thank you, Phil. Pleased to be here.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here, Randy. And as I understand it, you've got quite the AV credentials in our industry. Is that pretty correct?
Are you trying to politely say I'm old?
No, not at all. I am saying you are experienced.
Experienced, that's
yes,
right.
Sir.
Absolutely.
So let's count it out. Infocom, you served not just on the board, but as the chairman, is that correct?
Yeah, president, chairman, did the 4 chairs of Ascension, been involved with Infocom, probably all total about 12 years. I actually started originally teaching. For the design school. I was teaching visual display acuity on Sundays, and that was my first involvement, and then involved in different committees. Eventually ended up secretary treasurer, president-elect, president, chairman in 2006.
Very good, very good. So obviously in our beloved AV industry, that's about the highest honor you can receive.
And it was a pleasure. The amount of people you met in the association was just absolutely great. Exposure to meet people from literally around the world, from every different kind of, from end users to consultants to dealer integrators, and now all the new people that are starting to come into the show, and having that exposure was really good.
Excellent, excellent. Now you're involved with the DSF, is that correct? Digital
DSF,
Signage?
yep, the Digital Signage Federation. Mm-hmm. So as you know, the show is a Digital Signage Expo, a very profitable show. A little bit different than Infocom, whereas they're not a member-based show, mm-hmm. so they actually have a federation for membership there. And so the DSF, I'm actually on a committee that's an outreach program that's looking for other shows and opportunities to expand the membership and attendees to the DSE show.
Very good, very good. And so let's talk a little bit about the technology, digital signage. It's huge right now, but you know, we're all about approaching technology that's on the horizon. Mm-hmm. So where do you see digital signage in, let's say, 3 or 5 years?
Well, you know, what's interesting about digital signage is that everybody said that the traditional AV dealer wouldn't play in that space, because I think there's a number published, something to the effect that the average exposure has to be like $400.
Okay.
For a digital experience, and I don't think anyone in our members that play in that marketplace can play there. But what we're seeing is that higher end retailers, the Burberry, Coach, Microsoft, they're all now deploying major network and visual displays into that. And what was once not necessarily common practice is now a given. Mm-hmm. So if you go to an experience now, be it a new Tesla car dealership or what have you, it's now assumed you're going to have very impressive, cool, unique digital experience. And in addition to that, people are expecting that it's going to do something, it's going to interact, it's going to engage the client, it's going to make them want to respond with the experience.
Right.
So.
Right, very good. And so obviously you're talking about some very high-end
mm-hmm.
luxury goods, and my experience is that usually trickles down. And,
mm-hmm.
and I mean, I could see a world in 5 years where digital signage is literally everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already pretty ubiquitous.
If you look at around the world, typically what you see is that the Asia-Pacific market adopts earlier than us, and then even Europe does, than North America. And if you have the pleasure to travel, especially in Shanghai, there is just a high exposure of digital signage experiences there. For example, again, to speak on the high end, but Burberry, which we do the mounts for their stores, mm-hmm. and they've got all different kinds of technology in a Burberry. They have a flagship store in London, but they have multiple flagship stores through Asia Pacific, and they're only now going to be adding a couple of new flagship stores in the United States, mm-hmm. one in Los Angeles and Rodeo Drive, and one in Manhattan. And so they've had flagship stores in the other markets sooner. As you see that deployed in the bigger, higher ends, again, as you say as well, it's going to trickle down.
Right.
You're going to see it into all different kinds of experiences.
Right, very good. And let's say I'm a representative of a higher education facility or something like that. Why do I need to get involved in digital signage?
Well, forgive me, but what was the bad tragedy that happened? Was it at Virginia Tech?
It was.
At Virginia Tech. You know that the only way the school could notify the students that a catastrophe was happening, that methodology was done via texting and email. Well, when you're in a class, you're not supposed to have your phone on.
Right, right.
The number one thing that came out of the report was the need for digital signage. to be deployed throughout the campus to have alerts and have notifications,
Right.
and to use it in addition to talking about campus-wide activities and stuff going on, but also for life safety, public safety.
Sure.
So that was kind of an interesting thing that came out of that tragedy.
Yeah, absolutely. That's been my experience. Is any message that you need to convey, I don't know of a better platform currently to get that message out to the masses than both visually and orally.
Yeah.
So awesome, man. Very good, very good. And now RPV Solutions, that's your company now.
Yep.
And you guys do all types of mounting solutions and integration solutions. I'm going to throw something out there. I've had flat panel reps, really try to pitch me on the idea that the projector is a thing of the past, and I don't believe that. I mean, you look at the opening of the Olympics, what they did with all the projectors on the
78
floor.
projectors from, I believe, Solotech out of Montreal.
Right. I mean,
and the last 3 Olympics, you're right, we're all done with what's called paintscaping.
Okay.
And which is a big new rage. So to speak on projectors, because I'm an old projector guy.
Yeah.
Part of my career is with Electro Home. For those of you that can date back to Electro Home, was purchased by Christie. And projectors over the last couple of years have become, I don't want to say boring or not cool, but they just haven't been thought of as being leading edge technology you can deploy out there. And I believe one of the problems with the projectors has been the cost of a consumable. The lamp, be it UHP lamp or a xenon lamp, there was a cost once you bought the projector that you had to assume you're going to be putting in every year. Well, with the advent of LED, and now the big new rage that everyone's talking about is laser phosphor. Digital Projection has unveiled a laser phosphor projector, and you're hearing of a lot more that are supposed to come at Infocom. So Infocom this year in Las Vegas sounds really exciting. If all of a sudden I have a light source that's 50 to 80,000 hours, and flat panels may have the same light source, but they have seams and they have different things, I think you're going to see a resurrection of cool projection applications, be it for small lower end digital signage type applications, but then also doing paintscaping like you saw at the Olympics, the last 3 Olympics. That's lighting the outside of a building, which has become sort of known. In Quebec now they have a big contest where they paintscape the city landscape every year during the fireworks show. I think you're going to start to see paintscaping come indoors and actually be more deployed in unique, weird, immersive experiences indoor, be it educational or digital signage or for visualization, for oil exploration and stuff like that.
Right.
So
Awesome.
projector technology will come back.
Right.
That's a projector.
2014 could be the year of the projector, huh?
Yeah, well, we'll see at Infocom. It'll
Right.
be exciting, but I'm pretty jazzed that there's some neat stuff. And there's also been a lot of advents in screen technology.
Sure.
Screens are no longer just a Unity 1 gain reflective screen. DNP Supernova, that's an optical front screen that truly is magical when you have hostile ambient light. You can put a projector and get the #1 display attribute, which is contrast, enhanced significantly by the screen. So I'm excited about seeing what's going on with that optical front screen technology as well.
Very good, very good. I know, as an integrator myself, lots of from standard classrooms to lecture halls, there are still things that you just can't do with a flat panel. That projectors are just the
Right.
perfect application. Again, about getting that message to as many people as possible, and both from a cost perspective as well from just a size perspective. It's still the best way that I'm aware of getting that image that large.
But it is an exciting time in the world of display right now because a lot of people are starting to make smaller little segmented displays.
Right.
The Planar has their 21-inch mosaic product, marketed also by other names such as LG and Samsung, I believe. Christie has the microtile. IVIS. The smaller in the more segmented you make displays, the more collagey you can get.
Right.
So you can do mosaic. So there's some things you still are going to do on small little tile displays. There's some things you're going to do on projectors. Each technology has its unique fit and application, and it's for us as technology solutions providers to help customers maximize the impact of the technology they choose. And the one thing we haven't talked about yet is direct view LED, which is a real fast coming technology that you're starting to see higher and higher resolutions. And they crossed the threshold last year of 1.9 mil. And now at Infocom, you're going to see 1.5, and in some back rooms, I actually think you'll see some 1 mil LED. And even though right now the capital cost is expensive, there's application where that's the best technology for as well. And so you're going to see a lot more direct view LED this year, I think, also at Infocom. And the higher the resolutions, the tighter the seams, the better for me,
right,
which is mounts.
Right, that's it.
So
Mounts
like
are the
that.
future, right.
Mounts are the future, forget all the displays.
Right, right.
Unfortunately, we got to mount something, but other than that small problem.
Right, and what impresses me so much are the opportunities for artistic creation now with these flat panels, these micro tiles. You know, you take an art department at a college or something, and all of a sudden it's not just a flat panel, but it's an art installation.
And when all these little tile displays started coming out, what people were doing were simply replicating a flat panel or a rear projection or a front projection. So they were sticking with 4:3 or 16:9.
Right.
And it's only lately with content people, creators, people who can actually paint these, that you're starting to see people stagger stuff on the X, Y, Z.
Right.
And once you have a three-dimensional physical display shape, generating the content that maximizes that is truly neat. And so another big trend I think you should see in our business soon is we need content people.
Right.
If you're at home unemployed, form a content company and start manipulating graphics in weird, wonderful ways, because that's what our customers want to do.
Sure.
So
awesome. Well, great. Thanks so much for your time, Randy.
Appreciate it.
It was
Thank
a pleasure.
You very much.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you for joining us on Approaching Technology with M3 Technology Group.